Us on the big talking point this evening on Brass Tacks, Atishi, Aam Aadmi Party MLA and spokesperson, RP Singh, BJP spokesperson, Abhishek Dutt, Congress Party spokesperson, Sumitra Goenka is a member of the Centre for Knowledge, Sovereignty and Policy Analyst, and Mohit Paul is advocate on record at the Supreme Court. Atishi, let me start with you first. The LG has recommended a CBI probe into the new excise policy after a report that was submitted by the Chief Secretary, which, according to that report, established violations of the Delhi Excise Act 2009. The report by the Chief Secretary to the LG is in accordance with Rule 57 of the TOBR 1993, which mandates that the Chief Secretary should flag both to the Lieutenant Governor and to the Chief Minister any deviation from late procedures. So why then do you have a problem with what seems to be a regular, routine note by the Chief Secretary?
Zaka, this regular routine note by the Chief Secretary is just one of the many instances that the Aam Aadmi Party is facing. This CBI inquiry, this sanction for investigation against Manish Sisodia is not the first time this is being done with the Aam Aadmi Party. Ever since in 2015 the Aam Aadmi Party came to power, almost 150 cases by different agencies have been filed against Aam Aadmi Party leaders, ministers, MLAs. The CBI did a raid on the CM's office, did a raid on his residence, on the Deputy CM's residence. Income Tax Department did a raid on Kailash Gehlot's residence. One of our MLAs, Dinesh Mohonia, was arrested by Delhi police in the middle of a press conference. Delhi police arrested another of our MLAs, Gulab Singh, from a stage on a program in Ahmedabad. Now what happens is that in each of these cases, today we are debating this on prime time, on the day the CBI investigation has been ordered. Fast forward a year, this case will go into court like all the previous cases, and a judge will say there is no evidence, therefore the case has to be closed. They will slam the central government investigating agencies for filing cases without any evidence. But then there will be no prime time debate, Zaka. There will be no front page headlines. Then it will be on column 8 of page 16 of the newspaper. And this is exactly what the BJP has been doing with Aam Aadmi Party for the last 7 years. But we are open to any investigation. Let the CBI investigate, let ED investigate, let Income Tax investigate, let Delhi Police investigate. We are confident about our honesty, and we are 100% sure that even after any investigation, not 1 rupee is going to be found, or 1 rupee of any corrupt practice is going to be found.
Can you, before I go to RP Singh and to Abhishek Dutt, can you explain specifically, this is a specific question, this is what has been said in the LG's report. It is alleged that Mr. Manish Sisodia, who was in charge of the excise department, allowed a waiver of 144.36 crore rupees singularly to the liquor cartel, which favored private players under the tendered license fee using the excuse of COVID-19 pandemic. I'm asking a very specific question. Was there this waiver of 144 crores 36 thousand to these liquor companies? And 2, why did you have to give this waiver in the middle of a pandemic when such a waiver was not extended to any other segment or any other sector?
I think there's 2 or 3 things I'd definitely like to say on this, Zaka. First of all, your information is incorrect. Many waivers were given to multiple sectors at that point of time. They were given to retailers, they were given to restaurants, they were given to hotels. All waivers that were given by the government at any point of time have been done by due process of law, number 1. Number 2, this entire issue, which Meenakshi Lekhi came and said, oh, there is loss to the public exchequer, there is corruption, this is such a corruption scandal. This is for the first time in India's history, or probably the world's history, that we are seeing a scam in which the government has gained 1300 crores to the public exchequer. Before the implementation of the new excise policy in 2021, what did we see? We saw a revenue of 4,100 crores coming in annually in terms of excise revenue. New excise policy is introduced in November 2022, just 4 months. But in the financial year 21-22, we see that excise revenue goes up by 1,300 crores. And excise revenue goes up Now,
Okay,
to
give me a moment,
4,400.
Atishi. I think there's some problem with your video. We'll try and fix that. But I think the point that she is making, I want RP Singh to respond to that. Today you had the BJP, you had Meenakshi Lekhi and others come out and say that there's been a corruption to the public exchequer to the tune of 144.36 crores. Now, I have a very simple question. If there has been this said corruption, then how did the new excise policy result in a net gain of revenue of 1,300 crore rupees to the exchequer, sir?
Well, Jaka, it would have been 1,374.36 crore, out of which 130 crore were waived off for one set of people, and 144.36 crore have been waived for another set of people. Now, issue is that if this is also right, there's nothing and there's no issue in this, then when the Chief Secretary raised the red flag on 8th of this month, why did they held a cabinet meeting without the approval of LG on 14th of this month, although they have to go to LG before 48 hours before that, and they have to send the cabinet note also what is the subject about. They did send the cabinet note. The meeting was held without a cabinet note and in hush-hush manner, and after the cabinet meeting, LG was informed that we have taken this decision. And what was the decision? That we are rectifying our decision of waiving off 144.36 crore post facto. Not only that, 30 crore, a person, you will know the economics or the tendering process. If someone get L1 as a tender, then it is mandatory for him to go through the tender. And if he doesn't go through the tender, then his earnest money is taken by the government. Here, that L1 person who got the tender for L1, his 30 crore was given back to him, saying no issue, because he said I couldn't get the permission from the railway, airport authority. But that was his issue, that he has to get the clearance from some authority.
Okay.
And that 30 crore was there. This is not only. Give me a second. This is not all. I mean, then 50 rupees per case for a foreign liquor beer cases were waived off. I mean, who are you to do that? I mean, then you have to go to cabinet for it. You can't take this in on your own. I mean, you can't just say that we are doing it on our own.
Okay.
And not only this,
No. One second. The excise policy comes under the excise department. If they want to give waiver for someone, it's up to them, provided it is justified and there's no, monies lost to the public exchequer. But anyway, that's a matter of investigation. I want to ask